The royal story. That's the story. It actually just happened. It was in 1994. And maybe it was really great that we had not done. Dad's building and what he built was very similar to the style of his home, pretty much what you see around here, like a barn, actually. Nobody knew what it looked like. But it was, and still is, the best hotel in San Ignacio. And when her visit came around, not that there was no other choices, there were many choices, but we obviously stood out as a place that could host her, and it was not our choice, but we were floored. Of all the places in the world and of everywhere in Belize, it was a huge honor. And Belize was a British colony, and we were British Honduras, so that on top of everything else was just like, oh my goodness. And maybe even at the time, we didn't realize how huge it was, because we had to get in the middle of it and just worry about every single detail. And so when that visit actually came, and so much preparation, dealing with Buckingham Palace, but everything was just so relaxed. Nobody was upset. There wasn't, 200 security, and there was Secret Service, and there was all this kind of stuff, but it was the day of arrival when she actually came into the building. And she said, I guess it's the one thing that stands out. She says, I really am sorry for the trouble that we have put you through. And when I heard that, I knew the quality and the royalty that we had in our midst. People who understood and understand what it's like to be entertaining, top level people, and not knowing and scared you're doing the wrong thing. And it was so relaxing that it just made the entire rest of the trip just, okay, we're at home and someone's visiting home. So let's just go right back to when Dad was having parties and entertaining. And so that's what did it for us to relax.
It wasn't the same for me because I was actually her waitress. Okay, so even though we were daughters of the owner, we didn't automatically get our jobs. We had to work our way up. So at the time I was a waitress. I'm not sure, I probably was only at the hotel for 5 or 6 years, and I was in the restaurant and the head waitress at the time, so I got to serve her. The excitement and the nerves. It was crazy, but they are organized, and Prince Philip came out before the luncheon and told us not to worry. And I think that the ice in my crystal mug stopped jingling at that time because I stopped shaking. And I realized weeks before they came in that it was not San Ignacio Hotel hosting her, it was our town of San Ignacio hosting, because we kept getting all these orchid plants with little notes that said, please put this in her room. And so by the time the florists came in, they didn't have to use their flowers. They made those orchid plants the center of all their arrangements. And so it was just, again, our town presenting to Queen Elizabeth everything that we had, and it was extremely exciting.
Her Majesty visiting Belize, and then years later, here we have her grandson Harry visiting Belize and going yet to another Maya site. And so, you know, to me, it's a family that I think maybe we will see the grandkids come back, but I don't know that we'll ever see the Queen visit Belize. So that was, I mean, now looking back, that was so amazing for Belize. It was not her first time, but I do believe it may have been her last time. And like us in our family, here we are thinking about, you know, okay, so who's next? Who's next going to take on this role? So it is all about family in our business, and it's families that we entertain. And so our challenge now, I think, in chatting to each other and in talking to our sisters is, you know, who's going to be next? Who's going to step up to the plate?
We're surrounded by residential structures that was once used by the royal family here at Xunantunich. Plazas are used by the people for social gatherings, consumptions of their food. For the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, Prince Harry visited Belize, and here in this site, this is where he had his picnic lunch that was hosted by the San Ignacio Hotel.
I mean, it is very true. When you visit Belize and you visit San Ignacio, we try to keep our traditions, keep our local food. That's what people want. And even on the Queen's visit, there wasn't anything imported. And luckily at the time, I mean, and even today, you use fresh produce. You use what is available and what is amazing. So I remember I was looking, I just kind of, for some reason, was looking at some of the archives of the visit and got the thank you note from the Britannia after she took a small gift we gave her. My mom and I bottled hearts of palm at the time. And we couldn't think of, what do you give the Queen of England? What kind of a gift? So our jars of hearts of palm, canned in Mom's kitchen by us as family, was what we gave her. We thought, this is quite amazing. And we got a thank you note that she enjoyed it and that she had them. So even when Harry came, and even as we continue with, you know, meeting and hosting and feeding guests, we try to keep that. Our family has not only Belizean culture, but Dad comes from a Lebanese background. So we've incorporated some of those foods. It's in our menu. So I think that will always be there. I mean, we will definitely have to move in with the trends and the foodie world that we all are now. And that's a huge part of travel. But I think we will always remember that, you know, it's gotta come from local, and it's gotta be, you've got to put that flair in there, but that taste of Belize will never change.
The site here at Xunantunich is aligned along the cardinal points. And in the Maya mythology, the Maya believed that the world was flat and square. This building at Xunantunich is rising from the center of the world. This is the center of the world, and it's also where the universe was created.
We realized that was probably going to be the one and only time that we would ever have that opportunity. And so we made a special effort to make sure that what she had was not only from within the family. It wasn't about the resort at the time. It was, I never even thought for a moment how that could impact the hotel in itself and moving forward and whatever you could use. It never crossed our minds. It was more, she's coming to our family. So we got chairs from Mom's dining room that are marked underneath and are still marked. We got, you know, silvers from my sister and china. So we pooled all the resources and things that specifically she would use in her room or on her table.
Those are the howler monkeys, right?
Those are the howler monkeys.
Wow.
Those are the howler monkeys, and they're over in our hills. They're small.
Mm. Usually don't hear them during.
You usually don't hear them during the day.
That's something you only hear in the jungle. That's just to show you.